If you want to improve your English listening skills, then stop here and listen to me for 5 minutes. That's what we're doing. 5 minutes of daily British English listening practice. Today's topic is jobs. So I'm going to be talking about the different jobs that I have had in my life. So the first job that I ever had was when I was 13, which is quite young to start work. I remember that my wage, so the amount that I was getting paid, was £4 per hour. £4 per hour. The current national minimum wage, is that the right? Yeah, UK national living minimum wage, whatever the title is, the minimum wage is £12 something, I think. So obviously there has been inflation, but £4 is not very much money. But I was 13, so we will let it slide. We will not overthink it too much. I worked at a surf school, so I was an assistant instructor, because I wasn't old enough to get the qualification to be an instructor. So I was an assistant instructor. So I would help give out the wetsuits beforehand. I would help wash the wetsuits afterwards. And I would just help on the lessons. Often, if there were small kids in the groups, then I would be helping them in particular, because the surfboards are quite big and heavy and it can be very difficult to catch waves. So often I would be just helping the little kids to get as many waves as possible. And then eventually, when I was old enough, I can't remember how old, but I got my qualification and my lifeguard qualification as well. So I became a surfing instructor. I guess I got promoted in a way, so I was no longer just a helper, no longer just an assistant. And then I worked at that surf school for many years, 7 or 8 years, I want to say, at least. And I remember there was a period of time where my ankle was really bad. Not my uncle, not my parents' brother, but the part of my foot where my foot meets my leg, my ankle. I had a very bad ankle injury and I couldn't teach any lessons. So I was working in the small shop that the surf school had, just right next to it, next to the road. So I've worked in a shop. I guess you could say I have worked in retail. I don't know if that quite counts because it was a very small shop. But also, I have worked in hospitality as well. That's the word. So I worked in a cafe as well when I was a little bit older. So after that summer had passed, because I could only work at the surf school in summer, it was in the autumn that I started working in a cafe, saving up money so that I could go traveling. And that was at the same beach. It was it's called Beach Box. It was a shipping container that had been converted into a cafe, I guess. Not a cafe where you could go in and sit down, but it was all takeaway coffee and some food and things like that. And then my next job was a beach lifeguard. So this is all at the same beach. So I used my lifeguard qualification and all the experience that I had gained from doing surf lifesaving when I was younger. Surf lifesaving is a sport, basically a lifeguard sport, I guess, where you swim in the sea and you paddle boards and you practice rescuing people, basically. Used all of those skills to be a beach lifeguard. And then when I was in Mexico on my year abroad at university, I worked for a mezcal company. Not making the mezcal, but I was doing various various jobs. So I was there for like 5 months maybe, and then now I'm an English teacher. And you can see all of my English teaching across social media on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all of that. And I have lots of different classes, different types of classes, types of speaking sessions. So that is my current job. An ESL teacher, English as a second language, or English as a foreign language, it's also referred to. So that, I think, is all of the jobs that I have worked. Maybe I've missed something, but that is all I can remember right now. What jobs have you done before? How many jobs have you had in your life? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you back here tomorrow.